What if we jump? What if we fly? Hold on tight for a while. Wherever we go, I'm chasing my heart. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. What if we jump? What if we fly? We're just getting started.
the weekend. We're going to be starting off with our elite women that are going to be coming out here in a little under 10 minutes.
Sí, terminando nuestro último king que se prepara para pisar la meta. Pues hay con más de 2 minutos que han sobrado en ese timer para nuestros kings, nuestra categoría de kings.
Mientras disfrutamos con nuestros masters, en breve tendremos ya también a nuestra categoría elite ya en pista. 7 minutos para nuestras chicas. Mientras tanto, seguimos disfrutando categoría master. 2 bonitos hits.
We are just coming up on 5 minutes. And so we're going to be starting off with our elite women coming out onto the competition floor.
Bueno.
And right now, as you can still see your age with your masters continuing on down there on that ski. Day number 1 and test number 1. Once again, if you are just joining us, welcome to your CrossFit semi-finals. I can see our elite women just about getting ready to go. A running clock. Time gap is at 40 minutes. So the whole floor is going to be complete of athletes each time. And so far on the women's side, you saw the queens around the 30.
A lo mejor se ha salvado.
Igual ahí no ha llegado. Se ha quedado justo la rueda.
Y ahí hemos visto a nuestros chicos que van terminando esos 1500 metros que tenemos ahí en ese skier, en este test número 1, este primer día de competición aquí en el Mad Fitness Festival. de Kazajistán. Esa primera posición virtual por ahora. En este primer hit, categoría Master. Y ahí tenemos preparada nuestra categoría élite femenina. Seconds.
Good morning. Welcome to the Mad Fitness Festival here in Ciudad Real, Spain. We're here for the CrossFit Games semi-finals, and the female elite category has just set off. It's a 10:15 a.m. start. I'm Mike Bourne. I'll be bringing you the English commentary this weekend. It's a very, very hot day to start us off with. 10:15 a.m. already 23 degrees. The main comp floor for the workout, MadX event number 1 on the MadX arena floor. Outside, extremely hot. We have a quick look at who is in our heat number 1, lane number 1. We've got Claudia Gluck, lane number 2, Gabby Magawa, lane number 3, Lucy McGonigal, lane number 4, Silvia Garcia Izquierdo, lane 5, Manon Aganes, lane 6, Jennifer Moore, lane 7, Elena Caratala, lane 8, Althnia Egia Thalba, lane number 9, Marie Rockstadt, lane number 10, Marina Rios Lopez, lane number 11, Anya Keller, lane number 12, Laura Gonzalez, lane number 13, Emma Galova, 14, Sarah Kay, 15, Kayla Carrier, 16, Anais Lankry, 17, Ella Wilkinson, 18, Kira McManus, 19, Matilda Oyanganes, 20, Maribel Gallardo, lane number 21, Katerina Izela. That is our 21 athletes in heat number 1. Let us walk you through the first event. The first event is a long 40-minute time cap. 1.25k run, 1.5k ski, 1.25k run, 1.5k row, 1.25k run, and then 75 burpees over the log. This workout is presented and brought to you by Athlete. And yeah, we're in for a long one this morning. Did manage to speak to a couple of athletes before they got going, and they said conditions are perfect at the moment. However, this was around about an hour and a half ago, and it certainly has heated up since then. So we take a look at our screen. The ladies are working through their 1.25k run to start the workout. It looks like Ella Wilkinson there leading off, probably one of the favourites in this workout, alongside maybe Gabi Magawa and Jen Muir. Certainly setting off at a fast pace. The way this workout's going to work, half the field has been set off at 10:15 a.m. and the remaining half of the female field will go at 10:30. So sort of a rolling start by the time the athletes have finished the ski and probably onto the second run. Our next athletes will start their first run, so no chance of catching each other up, bar any emergencies. But yeah, you're with us now for the next couple of hours for this long workout, and it is Ella Wilkinson that comes off the field first, running down now. She's going to make her way down to her lane on the ski. We've got the Rogue ski that we're using this weekend. Rogue ski, Rogue rowers, and you can already see the heat playing a factor for these women. There's Gabi Magawa. She comes off the first run. She's going to make her way down to the ski. So 1.5k ski. So a decent amount of time on that ski for our athletes. Note some of the athletes deciding to wear some headwear. Kind of a tricky one, really. Some people like to wear it to keep the sun off the head, but then others feel that it contains the heat. Head can't breathe as much. You see our females now working through that first ski. Obviously one of the athletes that we're probably looking for this weekend, Gabi Magawa, bit of a headline athlete in this heat and probably one of the favourites to qualify, but this is one of her first main events back after her ruptured Achilles. So again, this might be one of those workouts where she's sort of tiptoeing around things a little bit just to make sure she's not going out too hot on this first workout. And again, this is going to be extremely tough in this heat, especially with another workout later this afternoon. There's definitely going to be a lot of hydration that needs to happen. We've already seen multiple athletes from previous heats of our Masters categories working through, and they were the lucky ones that got to go a little bit earlier this morning. So other notable names in this heat: Lucy McGonigal, probably one of the brightest young European prospects coming out of Ireland, obviously making her way up the ranks, trying to get herself to the games. And also Claudia Gluck in lane number 1, obviously just missing out from the French throwdown a couple of weeks ago. She's coming into the Mad Fitness Festival as a late entry. I think maybe a backfill just to some people dropping out. We've had a couple of athletes drop out due to already qualifying for the games, so they've decided not to come and compete and just focus on their training leading up to the games now. Obviously less risk of injury and also burnout with any extra competition that's not needed. Trying to be a bit more efficient leading up to the games later this year in San Jose, California in the USA. Again, we've got strong Spanish representation here in this heat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh no, 6 athletes in this first heat representing Spain. 3 from the United Kingdom, a couple of Norwegians, Germans, all around Europe. Great to see. And like I said, this is the first event of the day, of the weekend. Event number 1, Mad X, outside in the heat. And you're certainly in for a treat later once we get into the arena, as the arena floor is looking rather spectacular, I must say. So some good Nordic athletes in this heat as well. Maria Rockstad and also Matilda Oyenganes. Matilda off the back of Rebel Renegade Games last week in South Africa. I was lucky enough to call a lot of the action there. And barring one event for her, it was a standout performance. Multiple event wins, very confident workouts performed by Matilda. Just missed out on qualification, was a podium finish for her, 3rd place at the Rebel Renegade Games. And obviously only 1 spot goes through from that region. However, we have 3 spots up for grabs for our male and female competitors here at the Mad Fitness Festival. Our ladies working through now that 1.5k ski. Very sort of high rocks start to this workout. Long run, long ski to begin with. I know that we've had a lot of CrossFit athletes crossover into the high rocks world recently. Running becoming an important aspect in CrossFit competition and the tests that we provide. Obviously a lot of running in this first workout, just under 4k. Maybe a full 4k, just depending on those transitions. It looks like it is Ella Wilkinson who is the first off the ski. Literally 10 minutes in, that's the run and the ski done. It's looking like a strong start for her. To our other athletes also making their way onto that second run, so 1.25k run. After that ski, once they've completed this run, they will move into a 1.5k row. 1 more run at the same distance, and then those 75 burpees over the log. Burpees over the log just add that little bit of added extra zest to the workout. Not the same as a bar facing burpee, just a little bit higher to get over. They can use their hands to propel themselves up and over. Just a little bit more on the arms and the triceps once they get to that burpee section. Ella Wilkinson there on screen, working our way through that 1.25k run. Certainly looking strong at the moment. Bit of a winding track for these ladies to work through at the moment. Looks a bit confusing on screen, but to them, very clearly marked out, easy to follow. Sort of looping around each other. Quite good for athletes to be able to see where the chasing athletes are or where the athlete ahead is, so they can either turn on the afterburners or just maintain that pace and keep an eye on their closest competition. This is certainly a long one to start the day. And like we said earlier, it certainly will be very interesting to see how these athletes manage to recover for the workout later this evening. That workout to come, as far as I'm aware, is the toaster bar and front squats. So a completely different style of workout to this first one here. We're just outside the Quixote Arena, and that is where we will be this afternoon for the remaining events. But Ella Wilkinson certainly looking extremely strong at the moment, working through that second run. She's going to be coming back onto the Maddox Arena floor shortly, and she'll move on to that 1.5k row. Obviously the Rogue Echo rower certainly looks an amazing setup here. All the skis, all the rowers, all lined up, and even just the added flair of these log burpees. Sure, we'll change angle soon, start to see where these athletes are. They're going to come through onto the rower extremely shortly. And there she is, Ella Wilkinson leading the way. She'll make her way all the way down to, and there is heat number 2 of our ladies there being set off now. So if we look at heat number 2, I'll just quickly run you through the names of those athletes that have just gone off on the run. Lane number 1, Robin Verhagen. And lane number 2, Guthbjörg Valdemarsdottir. Lane number 3, Ida Kontanen. Lane number 4, Tonja Valle Skrokstad. Lane number 5, Ingrid Turndal. Lane number 6, Morgan Thiesens. 7, Martina Borini. 8, Sinne Samse. Sinne Bayer Kellund. Lane number 9, Holly Tynan. Lane number 10, Valentina Magalotti. Lane number 11, Bergros Bjornsdottir. Empty lane in lane number 12. Lane number 13, Kristina Kika Vasic. Lane number 14, Marina Meza. 15, Diana Pinchuk. 16, Connor Easby. 17, Steinun Anna Svansdottir. Lane number 18, Vesmaloy Kolstad. 19, Andra Moistus. 20, Dawan Young. 21, Sarah Masoni. Lane number 22, Emma Fashuro. Lane number 23, Ella Vunga. Lane number 24, Aileen Wirtz. That is athletes in the female elite lane. Order for heat number 2, elite females. I do apologise for any of the pronunciation. Rather difficult names to pronounce for an English man like myself, but I'm trying and I'm open to any changes that need to come. So please feel free to message in the comment section and we'll go through them afterwards. We're live for event number 1 here at the Mad Fitness Festival in Ciudad Real, outside of Madrid, for the CrossFit Games semi-finals 2026. We're looking to send 3 males and 3 females to the games in San Jose, California later on this year in the summer in the States. We've got a tough weekend of competition for our men and women. Let's see who is going to punch their ticket. We've got our ladies on the screen at the moment with the row. So that's back to our first heat at the moment. First heat of women working through the row. Second heat are working through the run. We'll try and keep you up to speed as much as possible with who's who. And that is lane number 11, Anyakel. Lanes number 2 and 3 at the moment. 1, 2, 3, Claudia Gluck, Gabby Mugawa. Lucy McGonigal there, center of screen. Lucy in the orange cap, Gabby just below her. Claudia in the white cap. Might be a little bit difficult to follow this first event, but I promise later on this afternoon it'll be much easier with the smaller heats. No rolling starts. We'll just be focusing on all the action as it comes through. Big setup here this weekend. We've got the elite teams as well coming after the elite individuals. We've also got masters categories, RX teams, and also RX male and females as well. Cool thing about this workout, once this workout is done, anyone from the public will be open and available for them to try it out. So think of it as a community event as well. So once all the elites have done, they set the times to beat, the public can come and have a go and see where they stack up against the best of the best. Lanes 1, 2, and 3. Main center screen, Silvia Garcia Izquierdo in lane number 4 as well, just above Lucy McGonigal. If we look at some of the talking points for heat number 2, again, another strong Nordic presence, Icelandic, Norway, Norwegian, Finnish, Swedish, and Estonian, all represented in that second heat. Some CrossFit Reykjavik athletes always bring a decent pedigree and experience to semi-final competition, and some of the athletes to look out for in that second heat will be the likes of Ingrid Tundel and also Vesmala Kolstad, notable names. And Valdimar's daughter as well. Dawan Young, she's a strong Asian representation. She did well at the Far East Throwdown just under a month ago, actually, that was now. Again, I was lucky enough to be there, commentating on the action. So it'll be interesting to see how she stacks up against this very dominant European lineup. Obviously, if we take a look at obviously our Nordic and Scandinavian athletes, they're always known well for their pacing, aerobic capacity, good on machines. So don't be surprised if we see a lot of those athletes towards the top of the leaderboard once this first workout comes to an end. And obviously, we'll try and keep you updated with some of our times that we get. Just looking on the setup back here, we've got a couple of screens that show us where some of our athletes are. There's a number of people working on it at the moment, so I can't quite see through the crowd of people. Still our first heat on screen though, on the rowers at the moment. 8 minutes into heat number 2. And we're 18 minutes into heat number 1. Claudia Gluck gets off the row. She's going to work her way onto that third and final run. And then the race really begins with those 75 burpees over the log to end the workout. Who's got it left in the tank after all that endurance capacity work on the ergs? Very sort of monostructural event, a little bit of, I guess you'd call gymnastic at the end with the burpees over the log, but an extremely cyclical workout, you know, incorporating all the running and the machines itself, but just so good to see those Rogue Echo rowers all lined up. I think this is the kind of sight that us CrossFitters love to see. Lane number 14 there, middle of the screen, Sarah Kay with the white cap on. She's working through that 1.5K row. Only a few athletes left now on the row as they move through onto their third and final run. And the heat is certainly starting to step up a bit now. 24 degrees at the moment. Feels like 27 out on the competition floor. So again, certainly one that's going to play factor into the rest of the weekend as well. This is a big, long workout. This really can, you know, take a chunk out of the athletes. It's super important the way that they decide to recover after this workout. I'd imagine ice baths, plenty of hydration, just trying to regulate that body temperature, get them ready for event number 2 later on this afternoon. Looks like, I think that might be heat number 2 athletes onto the floor now for the ski. Before we see some of our first athletes come back from heat number 1 onto those final burpees, and it is Ella Wilkinson that is certainly setting the pace at the moment. She's the first and only person onto the burpees at the moment. Clear floor. No one in sight for her at the moment. Easily working through those burpees. 75 burpees over the log to finish off this workout. Once she's done those 75, she'll just cross onto the finish line to get her final time. We wait to see if anyone else is going to join her on those burpees. And you can see the moment. Literally no one else around. I think we might have one athlete further down the field. And it is, I think it's Gabby Magawa, who's joined in lane number 2. There she is. You can see right down, further down the lane, you can see Ella Wilkinson working through hers. Back on screen now. And there are 2 standout athletes. Did say before, Wilkinson and Magawa, the 2 that would probably stand out the most. But Ella certainly absolutely crushing this workout, led from start almost to finish at the moment. Obviously we've still got a few more burpees to go, but she went out like a rocket on that run and essentially really set that pace to beat. Now lane number 4, we've got Silvia Garcia Izquierdo. She has joined us in lane number 4, waiting for the likes of Claudia Gluck, Lucy McGonigal. Looks like we could have a few more athletes start to join us now in the center lanes. Pretty difficult to see which lane they're in for me to give you names at the moment from what's on screen. You can see these athletes really starting to try and hold on to that pace. But it looks like Ella Wilkinson's around about 53 burpees into her workout at the moment. And she's going to be working through those last few reps shortly. Not many more to go for her. I'm sure we're going to see the judge's hand come up soon. And male athletes will also be going off in around about 30. First heat of men have just been released. I'll go through that lineup shortly. We're just waiting for Ella Wilkinson. She's going to come across the finish line. Hands in the air. She crosses the line in what looks like around about the 30-minute mark, just over. We'll try and clarify that time. That's certainly a super fast time to finish. And as you can see there, the cold water straight away getting poured over Ella Wilkinson in that lane number 17. Gavin Magawa not far behind. 30:15, there we go. There's the time for Ella Wilkinson. Be interesting if anyone in that second heat is going to be anywhere near the time that Ella has set. Again, the likes of Ingrid Tandul, Vesmaloy Kolstad, maybe Aileen Verst. We're starting to see more and more athletes get closer to the finish line now. Hand in the air for Gabby Magawa. She's going to cross the line. Get an unofficial time of Gabby Magawa soon. And that heat really starting to take its toll on these female athletes. Trying to see who our athletes are at the moment working through. Silvia Garcia Izquierdo there in the green shorts. Notable hair color as well. You can't quite see. When these athletes are wearing those caps, can't quite see who it is. Another athlete across the finish line. That was lane number 23. That may have actually been A-Lee Verse. And we've got multiple times coming in now. Unofficial times. Aileen Verse 32.35. Still waiting for, there we go, 32.25 for Gabi Magawa. Not too sure that's accurate. 32.59 for Garcia Izquierda. So we've got 30, just under 35 minutes gone here in this first heat. Obviously a 40-minute cap. Majority of these athletes are going to finish now. Plenty of time to finish there. 75. burpees over at the log. So we're starting to get some more times. Obviously, all these times are unofficial at the moment. Well, judges got handheld time as well, just to confirm everything. So don't take some of those times that we see on the screen. These burpees certainly start to get laboured towards the end of this workout. Again, the weight going through the arms, going down for the burpee, and then even that little split second that the weight is going over the log, the build-up of fatigue in the arms certainly steps up, as well as that breathing capacity. But don't forget, they've also done a lot of rowing, a lot of skiing as well. 3K split between the two machines. That's a lot through the arms as well, especially through those triceps on the ski. Now even more pressing out of the burpee and holding at the top quickly up and over that log. It all adds up. It's a lot of reps. So we're looking now, lane number 14, Sarah Kay. And we're back onto the rowers. More and more times coming in on the screen. Again, just take them with a pinch of salt at the moment. All unofficial until that leaderboard is set. Now we're looking at those rowers. see the men in the background. That's our men from our first heat. Let's go through the men's first heat. You can see them working in the back on their first ski. Luis Cuellar, lane number 1. Lane number 2, Danny Camacho. Lane number 3, Jack Farlow. Lane number 4, Janikowski. Lane number 5, Fabian Benito Sayez. Lane number 6, Miko Liliorg. 7, Adrian Moonvala. Lane number 8, Victor Arapiles. Lane number 9, Damien Satores. 10, Diogo Pereira. 11, Valentin Cotter. 12, Mikhail Giesenhem. Lane number 13, Arthur Satis. 14, Fernando Carrillo. 15, Pedro Munio. 16, Matei Tribel. 17, Alejandro de la Guardia Santana. 18, Chema Rodriguez. 19, Antonio Garcia Rebollo. 20, Carlos Ferrara Coloma. And 21, Guillermo Briant. 23, Kurtu Aho. And lane number 24, Alexandra Ilic. Some of the notable names in that men's heat. Janikowski, extremely experienced. That experience does probably give him an advantage over the rest of the field, just the years that he's got behind him. He's always a crowd favourite as well. And great to see Adrian Moonvala back on the floor. Extremely powerful and explosive athlete. Certainly can challenge for event wins. I wouldn't mind seeing what he can do in this workout. Yeah, no. Is Koski going to be the athlete that does what he does at the games, where he comes out on that first event, gets himself an event win, starts off the weekend with 100 points? Only time will tell for the men. We'll look, some of our athletes for the men are moving back onto their second run. Just finishing up on the ski. Looks like majority of our female athletes have finished from the first heat, second heat, onto their last run.
¡Qué maravilla!
So our athletes currently onto their second and third run. So all the men are off the ski onto the run. Women are off the row onto the run. Our women will come back onto the burpees, and our men will come onto the row. We see our first athlete for our females coming through onto the floor for the burpees. We'll wait to see what lane they're going and give you an update as to who's moving through the field, who's the first onto the burpees. 75 reps for the ladies to move through. A few more of our female athletes now start to join the fight for the final set. 30:15, the time to beat unofficially by Ella Wilkinson from heat number 1. We've got multiple female athletes now working through. It looks like it is lane number 13, Kristina Vasic, Kika Vasic in the middle, who is our first athlete. She's got around about 2 minutes to get through these burpees in order to come close to Ella Wilkinson's time. And we are close to setting off the second heat of the men, just under 60 seconds before they come through. Kika Vasic there, center of screen, working through her 75 burpees, known for her endurance capacity. These longer style events, she knows how to grind them out. 30 seconds before our heat number 2 for our men are released into the wild with that run. At the moment, center of screen is our females working through. Ida Continent. Here we have our second heat of men. They're off. Let's quickly go through the heat list of the men. Heat number 2. Harolda Holgersson, lane number 1. 2, Mike Needleman. 3, Alexander Pinsol. 4, Jules Castor. 5, Sven Geens. 6, Matthias Porter. 7, Jack Fleming. 8, Georgios Karavis. Lane number 9, Victor Lungdal. Lane number 10, Francesc Martinez Alcina. 11, Leonardo Gratino. Lane number 12, Fabian Hermans. Lane number 13, Jan-Ard Finkenberg. Not too sure if he's in the field, but his name's down. Lane number 14, Len Postel. 15, Tatu Aaron Haimu. 16, Rory Foster. 19, Dimitro Mindrescu. 18, Leonardo Barneschi. 19, Stephen Zalifa. 20, Miho Veselowski. Lane number 21, Pablo Collado Blanco. 22, Robert Dupka. 23, Anyola Kai. 24, Callum Clements. Lane number 25, Artyom Droba. Really strong European endurance profile. Again, Nordic athletes, Victor Lundal, Tatu. Spanish are definitely going to Be cheering for a few more Spanish in the field. Michal Wazowski. Again, lots of European experience, semi-final level athletes who they might not be household names, but certainly extremely capable of being global names across these style workouts. We've got some of our ladies now working through the final 75 burpees. Waiting for those judges' hands to go up. There we go. More hands going up for the judges as our second heat of women are close to getting across those finish lines. Still not sure on the time of the fastest in this heat, whether Ella Wilkinson has got herself off to an unofficial 100 points this morning here on MadX and on the MadX arena floor. 26 degrees now, feels like 28, so it's certainly getting hotter and hotter for athletes. The ladies have gone first. It was lane number 15, Diana Pinchuk. She is through and over. Again, this is probably not the kind of movement you want right at the end of such a endurance capacity based workout, but a chance to leave it all on the floor. This is where sort of it's won and lost in terms of the cycle speed of each burpee. You can see the difference in pace of some, difference in style. Some people sort of hopping over once they've got their hands on, others taking their time to get down to the floor. Hand in the air for lane number 7, Martina Barini. She's across the finish line. Again, no official times for us at the moment though. Slightly hard to keep track of, but we will get you updated with the leaderboard as soon as it becomes available to us. Let you know who's ahead, who's chasing for the rest of the weekend. Looks like lane number 10 working through Valentina Magalotti. And hand in the air for her. Three reps remain. Can't actually see the lane there. That might actually be Signe Björklund. She crosses the finish line. And it was Signe. Apologies. Again, very difficult to try and keep a track of who's in what lane at the moment. 24 athletes to keep a track of each heat. Only a few remain from our women's elite field. As they move through. Lane number 1, Robin Verhagen. Hand in the air for her. One more rep. She's going to get over and cross the finish line. Again, apologies we can't bring you any times to try and keep you up to date with who's ahead of who. But we will get them to you as soon as possible. We'll be moving through now shortly into the men. You can see the second heat of men on the ski, some of the first heat of men on the row. They're either just coming onto the row or they've finished and they're on to their third and final run. Again, our men were set off at 10:45 and 11 a.m. local time. So our first heat just coming up to the 24-25 minute mark. Second heat 7 minutes in. Already some athletes really starting to separate themselves between this men's first and second heat. It is heat number 2 at the moment that is on the ski. Your heat number 2. Notable names in that heat number 2. Certainly one I want to keep my eye on all weekend, and that's Sven Geen. Super unlucky for him just under a month ago at the Far East Throwdown. A little bit of an issue with the final workout that dropped him from first. Been first all weekend into the 3rd position, so he missed out on that only games ticket that was available from the Far East Throwdown. Henrik Kapalainen, the man to take the ticket from Far East Throwdown. So Sven Geen certainly feels like this is his opportunity. 3 tickets available here at Madrid. He was qualified for the French. He was qualified for Rebel Renegade Games. Chose to not compete at either of them. Get himself ready for this event. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Sven is capable of doing here at the Mad Fitness Festival. It looks like we may have our first athlete from the men coming through onto and it is Anjola Kai. He is leading, and we said he'd be a name to watch. So Anjola Kai leading for the men. Again, no one, and then there we have another athlete in the middle lanes. But it is Anjola Kai leading the way, closely followed by lane number 1, and that looks like Luis Cuellar. Lane number 3, Jack Farlow is in. Here comes Janikowski. Janikowski moving through those burpees, fast pace for him at the moment. He's looking to overtake Jack Farlow next. We've certainly got a faster cycle rate at the moment for these burpees. So Luis Cuellar, blue top, Jack Farlow, white top, and Janikowski just above him as they're now working through their final 75 burpees. Jack Farlow, center of screen now. Jack Farlow opting not to use both hands on the log. Luis Cuellar moving through, probably about halfway through his burpees, but it is all about Anyola Kai in this first heat. Looking for the hand. We're looking for the hand of Anyola Kai, for his judge to go up, let us know where he is. Looks like he's got around about 20 reps to go. So we look at lane number 20. Lane number 20, Carlos Coloma. He's around about 8 burpees behind Anyola Kai. Anyola Kai coming towards the last 10 for him now. Looking for that sub 30-minute finish. And this just puts into perspective as well how amazing of a workout that was for Ella Wilkinson. If her time of 30 minutes 15 seconds was true, she's going to beat half the guys in this field at least, maybe more. What a performance from her. Anyola Kai, hand in the air. Last couple of reps for him. Unofficial time for Anyola Kai, 2:33. Last rep for Coloma. He's across the line. Unofficial time for him, 29:52. So around 20 seconds behind. Anyola Kai. Luis Cuellar working in lane number 1. Judge's hand's going to go up for him shortly. Probably inside the last 10 reps for him. And he is, there we go. He's across the finish line. Unofficial time for him, 30:38. And that showcases how impressive Ella Wilkinson's performance was. I think it's the run that's done her justice. She's really flown around that course. As our men again, don't be surprised if some of these times change. Obviously all unofficial, must be ranked properly first. Looks like center of screen there. The blue cap could be Miko Liliorg or Benita Sayez. I think it's actually Benita Sayez in the blue cap. And that floor is going to get extremely hot. Black floor, sun blaring down. Current temperature feels like 28 degrees for these athletes. No shade, no escape for them here in this heat as they work through 75 burpees. Just a reminder, this is the first workout of the weekend here on the Mad Fitness Festival. This is Mad X stamina on the Madx floor. This event is brought to you by Athlete. And the workout is a 40-minute cap for time, 1.25k run, 1.5k ski, 1.25k run, 1.5k row, 1.25k run, and then 75 burpees over the log for our athletes. Speed just ramping up a little bit now for our last few athletes. Like I say, we will get a leaderboard to you as soon as possible once we know what's going on. At the moment, your guess is as good as ours. Times come up on the screen, but again, unofficial. Now on screen, we've got our second heat of men working through the 1.5k row. Lane number 1, Holgersen, 2, Niederman, 3, Pinsoye, Castro, Geens, Porter, Fleming, Karavis, Lungdal, Alcina, Rotino, Hermans, Finkenberg, Postel, Eronimo, Foster, Morgescu, Barneski, Talifa, Brzewoski, Blanco, Dopka, Aho, and Illich. That's our second heat lineup for the men. Certainly waiting to get some scores through to you guys for this first event. Sven Giese in the white t-shirt. He really did look strong in South Korea, in Busan at the Far East Throwdown. So just a slight mishap in that last workout, sort of just dropped him from first into third. He was 12 points clear going into that final event. Henrik Happalainen paced it perfectly, overtook in the dying moments of the workout. Grabbed himself that games ticket. Multiple athletes moving on to that third and final run now for the men's second heat. One of those men, Sven Geens, was up, as well as Haraldur Holgersen in lane number 1. He's out. Lane number 2, Mike Needleman, just working through his final meters of the row. So that lane number 15 there, Tattoo, Eronimo. So some of these athletes really pushing the pace here early on. Don't forget, they're on the road now. They've already done a 1.25k run, a 1.5k ski, another 1.25k run. Now they're on that 1.5k row. They have a third and final 1.25k run, and then progress onto the 75 burpees over the log to finish off this long endurance, probably say monostructural style of workout, just for the likes of it being this cyclical workout endurance, a little bit of burpees at the end. Some like to call that gymnastics. But again, it is that endurance, so the amount of burpees that they're doing. It's just that ability to keep moving. So it looks like the majority of our male athletes now onto that third and final run before they come into the burpees. Names across the top of the screen at the moment are from heat number 1. So don't pay too much attention to that. But if you are just joining us, this is Mike Bourne here with the English commentary for the Mad Fitness Festival here in Ciudad Real, España. The workout is MadX Stamina on the MadX Arena floor. And again, the cool thing about this workout is once all our teams and athletes are done, the public can come and give the workout a go for themselves, see how they stack up against the best of the best from this morning's heats. The names across the top of the screen now are our leaders. As our men are coming through that third and final run before those 75 burpees. We're back shortly before the men come through for the 75 reps to finish off the workout. Have got our two first men through to the ski. Try and look at the lane numbers that we've got. I think it's lane number 6 and lane number 7. Matthias Porter, Jack Fleming. If the lane numbers are correct. Actually, tell a lie, that is our mixed men's team coming through. A little bit confusing for myself there. I was wondering why they're about to start the ski. They've got their burpees to come. Again, we'll get you those athletes on the burpees shortly. We do have some of our athletes now on the floor for the burpees. Cameras panned around, lanes down towards the end. We'll try and get you who it is that is leading for us. It looks like it's Tatu Erenimo and also Rory Foster that is leading, as well as Mundrescu. So there are 3 athletes on to the burpees at the moment, and we can see 22 reps for Erenimo, closely followed by Foster and Mundrescu. Lane number 1, Haroldo Holgersson. He's working through Sven Giens there in the white top. So now the majority of our athletes starting to come through onto the floor. Karavis is there. Karavis, Lungdal, Grottino, Hermans. But it is all about Tatu Erenimo. 30, coming up to the 40 rep mark for the burpees for the man from Finland. Again, another sort of Scandinavian country just known for that capacity. Coming up to the 50 rep mark now for Eronimo from Finland. So about to move into those final 25 reps. Again, it's going to be close. The time to beat unofficially was 28 minutes 42, I think, or 32. Again, very difficult to keep a track of everyone here with these rolling heats. Who's coming through, who's winning, who's ahead. This is just one of those workouts where we'll get you the leaderboard as soon as possible. And then as we move into event number 2 later, you'll have a much better idea as to who's where and who's leading this event here at the Mad Fitness Festival. Great setup, great venue. The Quixote Arena just in the background of the shot. Can't wait for you guys to see the competition floor and what's in store for these athletes for the rest of the weekend. But hopefully that atmosphere is going to be electric inside. Last 5 reps for lane number 15, Tattoo Eronimo. He's across the line. Unofficial time for him, 29:15. About 16 reps, 15 reps back is the likes of Mindrescu, Holgersson, Foster. Literally, these guys are going rep for rep. There's not much between them at all. Lane number 17 on screen at the moment, Mindrescu. Lane number 1, Holgersson. And lane number 1, Holgersson, is across the line. Hand in the air for Mindrescu. Unofficial time, 30:03 for Holgersson. Mindrescu, he's across the line now as well. So unofficial time for Mindrescu, 30:19 for him. Last couple of reps remain in lane number 16. Rory Foster is across the line. That's going to be an unofficial time for him of 30 minutes, 32 seconds. Again, starting to see more and more athletes now cross the finish line. This is our last heat of our elite men. Once we finish this, we'll go to a short break before the elite teams kick off. Our elite teams do kick off at 12 p.m. local time in around about half an hour. Last 2 reps were completed there by one of our later lanes. I think it was Wesolowski. Sven Geens is also across the finish line. Hermans was in. Dopke is in. Moving through now. Last few athletes, you can see the heat really starting to pick up, take its toll on these athletes. That's lane number 2, Mike Needleman there, just needing to take a break. Heat really taking its toll on these athletes. Hand in the air for our athlete. Can't quite see the lane number. Unofficial time of 32:26 though. I think that might be Victor Lundell. 32.25 for him as he crossed the line. Lane number 11, Leonardo Grattino. He's across the finish line. Unofficial time for him, 32.49. Sure looks like Wazowski is actually still on the competition floor. It's super hard to keep up to date and track with these lanes. Lane number 7, Jack Fleming was just across the line as well. Only a few athletes remain on the floor though. Handful of athletes before we wrap up the men's elite field. Niederman's taking another break in lane number 2. This heat really is playing a factor here for our athletes. Hand up in the air for lane number 6, I think that is. No, sorry, lane number 4. That's Jules Castor. He's across the finish line. Again, all these athletes well under the time cap. Looks like we've got about 2 athletes left. Niederman in lane 2. One of our athletes all the way up the top. And that's lane 14, Len Postel. Niederman's in. We've got final athlete on the floor. I think that is lane number 14, Len Postel. I mean, he'll finish under the time cap as well. Again, still just under 5 minutes to go. Hand in the air for our final athlete. I think that is Postel in lane number 14. He is going to cross the finish line. That is it for heat number 2 of our elite men here at the Mad Fitness Festival. For event number 1, our long style endurance workout, Mad X Stamina on the Mad X Arena floor is complete for both males and females. We will be back in around about 25 minutes for our elite teams. We're going to take a small break before our teams come through, and we will try and get our leaderboards for our females and male athletes up to date, let you guys know who's where, who's chasing, who's winning, who's being chased. Again, I'm Mike Bourne. This is the English commentary for Mad Fitness Festival here in Ciudad Real, Spain. We'll be back shortly with event number 1 for our teams, heat number 1. And again, we'll try and keep you as up to date as we can. It's very difficult for us to follow this workout because of it's been such a big field. But we're doing our best, and we'll be back shortly.
Don't test me. Don't test me. Yo, don't test me. 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 Yo, don't test me. Don't test me.
esos chicos de Tactical. Porque de momento se podrían llevar esa tercera posición si siguen manteniendo ese ritmo también dentro de la pista.
Pues como tú dices, si bien dice la calle 17, calle 18, Tactical Team los veo muy sólidos, muy estables en el tronco, en esas repeticiones.
Y cruzamos los 50 batis en la calle 10 con los chicos de CrossFit Table.
Pues mientras tanto ya tenemos a ese segundo hit en la carrera. En esa segunda vuelta ya han salido todos de los termómetros y van a llegar en breves en tan solo 5 minutos porque están realizando todas esas carreras en un tiempo de 5:30. Así que os esperaremos en el remo.
Muy cerquita de terminar tenemos en la calle 10 a los chicos de Wolf, pero ojito, que sabemos que esto es un tema de estrategia. La segunda pareja va a tener que apretar un poquito, porque de momento para ellos cuarta posición dentro de este leaderboard. Todo puede pasar.
for UK. Last Barbie with the log, and that's it. We got it. You got it. All right.
Pues ahí lo tienen, ese primer hit del Elite. Vamos a ver ahora qué pasa por aquí, a puntito con esos últimos relevos. Los chicos de Pembrokeshire, superando esos 1200 metros de remo, se quieren ir a correr. Manteniéndose, últimas baladas para ellos. Aquí están, 100 para terminar en la calle 4, 100 para terminar en la calle 5. Last race for them. Pues arranca esa última carrera, last race for the guys from CrossFit Pembrokeshire. Segunda pareja arrancando esa carrera. Y ahora sí es el momento de apretarse. Os esperamos en los partis. Ódotelo.
Y os recomendamos esa máxima hidratación de nuestros amigos de San Benedito, ese agua oficial del evento, con su agua protein. Importante también cogerle esas botellitas de nuestros neveros de Yeti, otro de nuestros patrocinadores. Aprieta el sol de justicia, hay que hidratarse, hay que refrescarse, hay que buscar esa sombra en todo momento.
Y ahora sí, tercera pareja en irse a la carrera. Third partner, starting this lap race. equipos élite ahora mismo.
1 minute. Seconds. Seconds. Stand by. Go.
Welcome back to the Mad Fitness Festival here in Ciudad Real, just outside of Madrid in Spain. This is the CrossFit Games semi-finals, one of the final weekends, one of the final events to claim the tickets for our athletes to punch their ticket to the games later on this summer in San Jose, California, in the US. This is heat number 3 of event number 1 for our teams. And as far as we're aware, this will be the next to top heat. So the next heat coming in, heat number 4, will be our top 12 teams going into this first event from the qualifiers. We are looking at lane number 5, Pixel team. Lane number. Sorry, that's not the right ones. Where are our team ones? Give us 2 minutes. We'll get our teams back. Here we go. Okay, so heat number 3 of our teams. Lane number 1, Kalo Grit. Lane number 3, Team DMNTR North Duty. Lane 5, Team Strive Black. Lane 7, Team Divergent. Lane 9, Vanheim Smenjan. Lane 11, Ronin Athletics. 13, Team Strive. 15, Chimera CrossFit. Demantor Last Minute. CrossFit Bloom Blauer Pumas. They're not here, I know that. Tartan Elite. And then in lane number 23, CrossFit Bath. That is our third heat of the teams just coming out. So they have the same workout as the individuals, except the runs are done together and they can share the machines any way they want. They're in male-female pairs, so each team will have 2 lanes, 2 skis, 2 rows, 2 logs to do the burpees over. They'll be in male-female pairs. They're locked into those male-female pairs for the workout, and they run together and they split the machines as they like. Burpees are synchro at the end. This event is sponsored and presented by Athlete. This is the Mad Fitness Festival 2026 CrossFit Games semi-finals. Now we're looking to send 1 team on to the games from this region. We are looking to get the leaderboard updated for our individuals. I think there's a few things to be looked at. But we'll be back shortly when our teams come back through onto that first 1.5K ski. So we see our first few teams coming through towards the end of the run. They're going to make their way onto the ski. And they'll come back in. See them now coming through the entry, come down to their lane, to their ski. A few more teams following suit now. It is a very, very, very hot day outside now in the blaring sun. Our teams certainly are going to have to rehydrate, recover, probably get themselves in an ice bath at some point just to get that body temperature back down, get that core body temp down, ready for the events this afternoon, as our teams will be going first this afternoon around about 4 o'clock, I think, is when our teams set off in event number 2. But this is event number 1 for our teams first, and if we just go over the workout, it's the same format as the individuals. They do the run together, they split the machines as they wish, and they go synchro burpees over the log for the finish. So 1.25k run, 1.5k ski, 1.25k run, 1.5k row, 1.25k run, and then 75 synchro burpees over the log to finish. So like we said, our teams will have 2 lanes each, so 2 skis, 2 rows, 2 logs for the burpees, and they'll be working in their male-female pairs. This is heat number 3 of 4. It's a big heat list for our teams. It's going to be tough competition all weekend. Heat number 4 coming up supposedly should be our top seeded teams from the qualifiers. And that way then we'll be able to sort of keep track as to who's who. We are looking for the individual leaderboard soon. Once we have them and we have clarification on them, we will give them to you. We'll pop them on the screen at some point. Obviously, we'll sort of verbally go through them as well. But how good do these Rogue Echo rowers and skis look on the competition floor? It's an amazing setup, and one thing that we did want to point out is once all these top teams and individuals have gone, the public have every opportunity to go out and test the workout themselves on an empty field, see how they stack themselves up against the best of the best in this region.
Let's not forget we've got a 40-minute time cap here on your test number 1, your Max, presented by Athletes.
But what a day, what a setup for these athletes here at the Madrid Fitness Festival. Trying to look for those lanes. I think this is lanes 2, 3, and 4 at the moment working. So Team Strive Black, Team Divergent. Quick changeovers for them. Lane number 24 at the end. It's CrossFit Bath as far as our heat sheets are looking for us here. So again, it's a super hard workout to keep a track of with multiple teams going at once. Such a long-winded workout. Going to obviously try and get the best views that we can for the remainder of this 40-minute cap for our teams to work through. And also try and keep a track of the lanes. But as far as I'm aware, the temperature here at the moment is 28 degrees, sorry, 30 degrees, feels like 32. We're coming up to the 1 p.m. mark here on day number 1, event number 1 for the Mad Fitness Festival. This is Mad X Stamina, the workout on the Mad X arena floor. We'll be back in the arena later on today for much smaller heats for us to follow. But you can see athletes on screen. The sweat is building up already. The heat is hot. Do you have a shirt on? Do you not? Do you wear a cap? Do you not? These are the decisions you have to make. And also one of the things that we want to talk about here for this team event is how do you pick your male-female pairs? Obviously, your scores will be your totals added together. So do you go your best male and female pair together and your weaker male female pair together, or do you split best with weaker for both pairs just to get a better average? I guess this is the tactics that our teams will have to play upon. And again, this is our our third heat of the teams working through their first round of 1.5K ski. Remember, they can switch however they want on this machine. Once they finish their 1.5K, they'll be back onto another run that they have to do together. Okay, they must complete the runs together. Share the load on the machines as they like. So I'm waiting to see which judges' hands are going to go up first. Each team has 2 judges, but essentially just think of them as 2 pairs here, as their times will get added together at the end of the workout. It looks like we do have our first teams moving through onto that second run. Again, do feel sorry for these teams. It is super hot. Super hot here. 32 degrees, blistering sun, no shade, nowhere to hide. Just got to grind it out, work through. Important for our athletes to try and stay cool all the way through the workout. How they're going to be able to do that, I'm not too sure. Whether they'll be able to have water with them on the floor. And you see a few bottles lined up by the rowers, ready for the next round once they come back from the run. Coming up to the 1 p.m. mark, we will be having that 4th and final heat set off soon for our team athletes, and they're going to be working through the same workout, except it is meant to be our top seeded heats. So the top seeded heats for the 4th heat, Aska Krieger, Team Sweden, and the pace programming, that's our 1, 2, 3. Slightly less cooked 4th from CrossFit 3450, and CrossFit Hanuman Molnier from CrossFit Hanuman from the lovely country of France. But again, such a great opportunity to see multiple countries being represented from around the world. I mean, in this heat alone, heat number 3, we've got Spaniards, Italians, Belgians, Swedish, Italians, Mexicans, Scottish, English. In the final heat, we've got Norwegians, Germans, French, Swiss, Swedish, Danish, Spanish, British. All teams coming from all the way around the world for this event. It's a huge weekend for the Mad Fitness Festival. Not only do we have our elite teams and elite males and females, we also have masters categories, RX teams, pairs, multiple athletes out on the floor from 9 a.m. this morning. Now, those guys that were on at 9 will certainly be counting their blessings that it wasn't so hot. So our teams now working through that second run. They'll come in off that run onto the Rogue Echo Rower as they'll work through 1.5K on that row. You see multiple cups on the floor there. Drink stations, hydration, trying to keep themselves cool. It is a hot day, and this is not only a tough test physically, their endurance and capacity is being tested, but also their mental capacity to work through this heat, through the sun. So there is nowhere to hide for these athletes, and you see there the water station for the athletes just to try and grab a bit of water, probably pour a little bit over themselves, cool themselves down. Looks like our heat number 4 are starting to line themselves up. We're around about 5 minutes before they start. And we're looking at our first team athletes about to come off the AstroTurf. They've turned the corner, they're down the back straight of the run before they come through onto their row. And the cameramen are ready, set up for the rowing section. Hopefully we'll be able to see what lane comes in first and give you an idea of who's ahead so far in this heat. We'll be back shortly. Hopefully some updated leader scores. So it looks like it's lane 14 that is leading here. They were the first back to the rower. That is Team Strive, one of the pairs of Team Strive from Belgium. They were one of the first pairs back onto the row. They're our leaders so far in this third heat. We are coming up to the 17-minute mark for the third heat on this row. Don't forget they've got another 1.25k run after this 1.5k row, and then those 75 synchronized burpees. Again, this workout can be won or lost on that final movement, as obviously it's not just up to you. You've got to work together as a team. It's in synchro, so chest, thighs down on the floor together before you hop yourself over the log as one. So you're only as fast as your slowest athlete between your pair. And obviously that's where I said, what kind of pairs do you do? Do you do your best pair together, then your weaker pair together, or do you split one good, one weaker, and try and average out those times? We see some of these team athletes now, they're all coming through onto that row. 2 minutes until the top heat move out onto the floor to round out event number 1 for our teams. But so far it's Team Strive. One of the pairs from Team Strive is the team leading. You can see that skin glistening in the sun. There's a lot of sweat being poured out into this workout. That's certainly going to be draining the bodies before that second event this afternoon. It'll be interesting to see how much work each partner is going to do within their pair. Usually on the machines you would expect the male to do a little bit more work just because of height and weight, being able to pull that faster pace. But again, if the run is taking its toll on our athletes and your female partner is a stronger runner, then it may pay dividend to give the female a little bit more on the row, just to give the guy a bit of rest after the run. So a lot of tactics that are going to come into place here for our teams. Obviously each team will have their set before they start. Whether they stick to them or not is another question. So 19 minutes 45 seconds into this workout. So we're nearly at that 20-minute mark. 10 seconds before our fourth and final heat are released. And we see these teams now top seeded heat in lane number 1, CrossFit Gambling Krieger. Lane number 2, EQ and OTG. Lane number 3, Heart and Heavy CrossFit. 4, CrossFit Hanneman Molnier. 5, the Pace Programming. CrossFit Asker Krieger. Team Sweden, slightly less cooked. Prest Fransindi. Team Yantra Connection. 21, Mjolnir Training. And then the final team in lane number 23 is apparently Team Juicy Bum Bums. Lovely team name to round us out for that final heat. But it's our third heat that is on screen at the moment on the rowers. Heat number 4 is off onto the run before we see heat number 3 move on to the third and final run between their pairs. We'll wait now to get some clarification on who's leading from heat number 3. Some of our athletes moving off that rower onto the third and final run. Obviously, once they come in from that run, it will be 75 synchronized burpees over the log. This event is sponsored and presented to you by Athlete. This is Mad X Stamina on the Mad X Arena. And it is a cool opportunity for our members of the public to jump into this workout once all the heats are done, give it a crack for themselves, see how they stack up against all the best athletes here in this region at the moment. There's some times to beat. Around the 30-minute mark is what we're looking at for the females, just under the 30-minute mark for the males. Ella Wilkinson this morning setting a blistering pace for the women. Led from start to finish. There was no catching Ella Wilkinson in the elite females. And it was Anjol Akai in the men's first heat, who again led from start to finish himself. Last couple of teams remain on their rows. They've just got off. They're on to that final run. we should start to see our top teams come through from the run onto the burpees shortly for heat number 3, and see our top teams come off the run onto the ski from heat number 4. Again, our top seeded teams in heat number 4 from the qualifiers. CrossFit Asker Krieger in first, Team Sweden in second, the Pace Programming in third, Slightly Less Cooked in fourth, and CrossFit Hanuman Mjolnir is our top 5 teams seeded from the online qualifiers. And there we have all our teams starting to come back together. Fairly bunched up, actually, closer than the previous heat. Previous heat had a couple of teams separate themselves from the beginning. It's those center lanes that we're looking at from the top qualifiers. Probably from lane number 7 through to lane number 16 is our center crew of teams. Our athletes will work through now 1.5k of skiing between the pair. Remember, male-female pairs, 2 male-female pairs per team. Once they've picked their partner, that is them stuck together for the rest of the workout. It's 2 judges per team, making sure that that stays the same. But this is heat number 4 on screen at the moment. Before our third heat get back for the burpees, we'll watch the action on the burpees and then move back to our heat number 4 as we follow them through the final bits of their heat as well. Looking at our top team at the moment from heat number 3, working through those synchronized burpees. It looks like it's lane number 2 and lane number 14, possibly. Again, waiting for those top teams to come through. Looks like actually lane, yeah, it is lane 14, Team Strive. They're the first team onto the burpees. The Germans from, sorry, the Belgians, sorry, from Team Strive leading the way. Lanes 13 and 14. You can see their judges making our athletes stay nice and synchronized. But it's getting hot now on that floor. You can see there's a lot of water being poured around to try and keep the floor nice and cool, keep the hands cool. Now this workout really starting to catch up on our athletes in this synchronized portion. Remember, you're only as good as your slowest one of the pair. So really got to communicate well here just to maintain consistency, because it's very easy to lose pace on these burpees. Really want this movement to essentially just be as monotonous as possible Just down, up, over, repeat. You see a lot of these athletes picking the foot up as a step-up option. Step up, up and over. Just got to get yourself over that log. You don't have to hold it. But obviously, it's just a little bit more of a rest, essentially, instead of that explosive jump. It's obviously a lot higher than a usual barbell. However, it does put a lot more through the arms, which essentially is going to fatigue those arms out for the burpees as well. Even though your hands are only on that log for a split second, it's still, you know, that lockout. It's a bit more tension on the forearms, on the triceps as those arms are locked out. We see our teams here just struggling slightly in this heat, having to take a few seconds just to regather themselves. And we're waiting for those hands up in the air. I know that they're top heat number 4. Just heard one of the MCs say that they are off onto their second run, so the ski's done. On the second run, they'll come in for the row. One more run, and then the burpees to finish. But what a great setup here. We see on screen Ruster helping sponsor this event as well for the logs. Such a cool setup outside. And you see there wrist wraps on the hands. That floor must be pretty hot. It either works for you or against you. For you in the sense, if it's hot, you want to get your hands off the floor as quick as possible, so you do your burpee nice and fast. Or against you in the sense of, my hands are burning. But a clever tactic there. The grips are on the hands in lane number 1. That's Kalo grit and quality habits. Clever work. Putting the grips over the hands. And then we have some leaderboard up front. 31 minutes, 53 seconds gone on the stream. It is Team Strive that's ahead. And then we've got Vanheim, Smedjen in second, Juicy Bum Bums in third at the moment. So around about 20 reps remain for our leaders, Team Strive, and they'll be over the finish line. But it does look like Vanheim maybe just taking the lead at the moment. They're catching up Team Strive, and that's what I said. The cadence of these burpees, making it monotonous and just continuously moving. And it is Vanheim, Smedjen that have gone into the lead. They've overtaken Team Strive now in this heat. 10 reps remain for Vanheim. And you see now, it's our event director, Alfonso, popping water out onto the floor just to cool the floor down for our athletes, as this floor is getting super hot. Last 5 reps remain for Vanheim. They're going to be the first team to move through, unless Team Strive have anything to say about it, but there's only 2 reps remaining. But then it is Team Strive are across first. They do manage. Actually, no, that was Vanheim. Lanes were wrong. Team Strive now about to come in and finish themselves. So 33-31 for Vanheim. They've still got their other pair to come across the line. Their times will get added together. Waiting for some more results to come in. Team Strive have crossed the line. Just waiting for their official time to come through. As it looks like it's couple of reps remaining for a few more teams. Again, we'll get these leaderboards updated as quick as possible for you guys at home. I know it's difficult to follow along. There's a lot of action. It's difficult for us to follow along. There's 24 lanes total. As we see a few more teams cross the line. I think our judges actually have like an electronic handheld device which updates the score automatically, but they will have a handheld time as well as a backup. But this is the remainder of heat number 3 for our teams. We've still got the remainder of heat number 4 to come as well. They're working on their row at the moment. Once they finish their row, they'll go on to the third and final run. We'll be back shortly with the remainder of heat number 3 and heat number 4.
You can see cooling themselves down, but it is still going to be trickier than in that first place. Ahí está bicho. Sácame los dientes, quiero sangre, quiero sangre. Y ahí vemos ya también más atletas ahí entre ese equipo número 14, que está ya a puntito de finalizar, cuando ya estamos aquí con el hit número 15. El último hit de la categoría de Elite Teams.
Pues atentos a esa calle número 1, a nuestros amigos de Calgary. Por Quality Habits tenemos una pareja que ya terminó. La segunda pareja en la calle número 1 está a punto. Calle número 2 ya ha terminado. ¡Vamos! Que se nota que juegan en casa. Nuestros amigos de Calgary. Calle número 1 a punto de ir terminando poco a poco esos 75 golpes. Ese tronco del roster. Atentos, últimos 5 golpes para Calgary.
Y atentos, no hay ni les down here.
Atento último golpe para nuestro equipo Calgary de Quality Habits. Llegando al final, enhorabuena, vuestra representación nacional.
Just seen our final few teams from heat number 3 finishing off those burpees. Majority of the teams coming in around that 33 to 35 minute mark. A couple of our last teams on the board at the moment. Hands in the air from one judge. This is going to be one of the last reps here. They're going to cross the line in lane number 11. Lane number 11, Ronin Athletics. And we think we've got one more team on the floor before we're going to shoot back and bring you the final coverage of heat number 4 of our teams. And that is all our teams from heat number 3 finished. And as you can see now, panning around the screen, this is our heat number 4, our 4th and final heat of our teams here for event number 1 in this Mad X Stamina workout on the Mad X Arena floor here at the Mad Fitness Festival, Ciudad Real in Spain for the CrossFit Games semi-finals 2026, where we are looking to send one team to the games later on this summer in San Jose, California. So at the moment we're waiting for clarification on the lead in this heat number 4. 33:31, one of the fastest times of the day for our team so far. So we're waiting for judges' hands to go up on the road before we see our first teams off onto the run. I think we have a few teams in the background making their way now. So they've got one more run together, 1.25K, and then they'll move through onto 75 synchronized burpees to finish. I think we'll have a much faster paced finish between our teams here in this 4th and final heat. Our top seeded teams. And obviously by the end of today, after event number 2, we will have reseeded for tomorrow, day number 2. But for now, it's the remainder of day number 1, as we see our top teams battle it out for event number 1 in heat number 4.
Yeah, waiting to see who are going to be that next team to make their way out. As it looks like it is going to be down there, lane number 8, so it's going to be CrossFit with number 1 coming out of France. Ladies and gentlemen, l'équipe de France. Let's do a little sound test here. Roger, hands in the air. There you go.
Vamos atletas, últimas 1.250 de carrera. That's one for you. Come on guys, someone keep going.
Multiple teams now moving through onto that 3rd and final run in our team heat number 4 here. 22 minutes, 15 seconds gone. $40-minute time cap. We've probably got about around another 10 minutes worth of work for our top teams. Will any of our teams come close to the 30-minute mark? Only time will tell. So we've got 2 teams, maybe 1 team remaining on the road now before they're all out on that 3rd run. We've got 2 teams left at the end. Lane number 23 and lane number 21. Some Mjolnir training. And our juicy bum bums. That might actually be CrossFit Bath in the top lane. So all teams now off onto the run. We'll be back when our top teams come through for those final 75 synchronized burpees. We're just minutes away from a fast-paced final heat of team event number 1 here on day number 1 at the Mad Fitness Festival.
Bueno, Alex, cuánto clásico, cuánto veterano, cuánto bicho a tu lado.
just got some great images there of our leaders on the floor for the run, getting that water over the top of them. Again, has to be said how hot it is here today. The moment, that temperature, 30 degrees, feels like 32. Temperature meant to go up to 34 today. So our athletes are certainly working through the pain here. "25 minutes, 45 seconds gone." As we see our first pair come back in, we'll see which lane they are moving into for those burpees. And it looks like it is lane number 12. Lane number 12 would be CrossFit Asker Krieger. And they are closely followed by lane number 13, Team Sweden. So it is our top two teams from the qualifiers that are leading the way. So they're going to work through now their top athletes, working through 75 synchronized burpees. Lane number 11, lane number 12. In fact, that might be both. That might be both of the Krieger teams. We wait to see who else is moving onto their burpees. Multiple team members coming back now. So we do apologise if you're getting any of these team positions wrong. It's very difficult for us to keep track of what's going on with the lanes, especially from the view that we've got. Lane number 5 at the moment, that's Heart and Heavy CrossFit on your screen. Now lane number 1, CrossFit Gamblegen Krieger. Lane 7, CrossFit Hanuman Mjolnir. But it is Asker Krieger who are first at the moment in lane number 12. Multiple teams now back to the burpees. And that is our leaders there in lane number 12. The Krieger teams, Asker Krieger. 43 reps in for them. They're coming up to the final 30 reps soon. Lane number 1. Another Krieger program team. Krieger is known for their endurance bias. Very good athletes on the endurance side of things, on the machines. I guess born in the Scandinavian, Nordic countries. A lot of them come from that cool, fresh air that they're used to breathing. Cross-country skiing, downhill skiing. inside the final 20 reps now for Asker Krieger. We start to see these burpees start to get really labor towards the end. You can see the water on the floor. Trying to cool the floor down for our athletes. It really is a hot day here. I know I've said it multiple times, but really need to reiterate how amazingly hard these athletes are working in the heat of the day. It's 1:35 local time here. So heat of the day, 30 plus degrees. And this is a tough one for all competition today to start in this heat. Long endurance style workout, very monostructural with the machine work. Then a little bit of gymnastics essentially with the burpees at the end. Final 5 reps remain for Asker Krieger, hands in the air. 33:31, one of the faster times from heat number 3. Are we going to see both teams come through? And that is unofficial time, 31:27. And there it is, official 31:27 for Asker Krieger. One of their pairs is in. But remember, they've still got another pair to go. If their next pair isn't fast enough, the times added together doesn't mean they're going to finish first. They're just finished first in this heat for that pair. As we've got multiple teams now getting closer and closer to that 75 rep mark. A lot of teams inside that final 20 reps. Lane number 7, Hanyaman Mjolnir. 11 reps remain for them. Last few reps, you see the pace. See the pace coming up a bit faster now for these final reps, and there we go. They're across the finish line. 32:42 for them. That's still faster than the previous heat of 33:31. Times from the previous heat are going to play into factor now. Lane number 1's in. CrossFit Gamblian Krieger. Again, that's underneath the fastest time from the previous heat as well. So final heat's coming through on those burpees. When we are finished, we will take a break on the live stream. Next event for our teams coming up around about the 4 p.m. local time mark. In sixth place in this heat, tied for fastest of heat 3. So now times in heat 3 are going to come in and take a role with the final results in this heat number 4. A little bit of a race on between Heart and Heavy CrossFit. They're in. Last rep remains on screen for 3's in. 3 is EQ and OTG. Got our last few teams on the floor working through their 75 synchronized burpees. It is a long workout. We're just under 5 minutes to go for the time cap to expire. I don't think we're going to see anyone struggle to get under that time cap, but we are still seeing athletes start to struggle now towards the end of these burpees. (31:27) that time that has unofficially taken the event win for the individual pairs. However, you have to add both partners and pairs of the team together. I'm not too sure what we've got here in terms of the team sheets, but there's a couple of names that are not on our team sheets that may have taken some backfills. But we want to make sure that all our teams get across the finish line and then straight away into some cooler environments, get themselves prepared for the next event. The next event for them will be coming in just over 2 hours time, around the 4 p.m. mark. Waiting for those judges' hands to go in the air. Waiting for that final team, lane number 23, lane number 21 to come through. Unfortunately, we can't see who those teams are. One more team remain. Last team on the floor, CrossFit, one more rep. Waiting for the judge's hand to go up. CrossFit, one more rep in lane number 23. Are they going to get in under the cap? They've got 90 seconds to do so. Final team on the floor. Event directors there calling for everyone to push them over the line, pouring water over them to they're inside the final 8 reps. Last 5 remain for one more rep. They've got 50 seconds to get themselves across the line. I think it's going to be doable. Final rep coming up now. And this has taken its toll. They're going to cross the line. 39:23 unofficial for our team. Heat number 4 for event number 1 for our teams. That's the end of this morning's action. We will be back this afternoon for event number 2 for our teams and event number 2 for our male and female individuals. We'll be inside the arena this time, so out of the heat. I'm Mike Bourne. I'll be back later for the English commentary here at the Mad Fitness Festival in Ciudad, Real, Spain. Ciudad.